Have you ever walked through a familiar place, only to find something that was never supposed to be there? A door that wasn't there before. A hallway that seems too long. Or a room that shouldn't exist. This is the story of Daniel Carter, and the night he discovered a room that would change his life forever. Daniel had lived in the same apartment building for almost 5 years. It wasn't luxurious, but it was home. Faded wallpaper, creaky wooden floors, that faint smell of dust baked into the walls. He knew every corner of that place. Or at least he thought he did. One stormy night, as rain tapped against the windows, Daniel was pacing his hallway, unable to sleep. That's when he noticed something strange. At the end of the corridor, there was a door. A plain, wooden door, painted the same dull beige as the rest of the building. But here's the thing, Daniel knew every door in that hallway. He knew his neighbors. And this door wasn't supposed to be there. Curiosity gnawed at him. He walked closer. The door had no number, no nameplate. Just a black metal doorknob. Daniel reached out, his fingers trembling slightly. The knob was cold, colder than it should have been, almost like touching ice. He twisted. The door creaked open. Inside was a room. Dimly lit, with pale green walls and a single bulb hanging from the ceiling. But the strangest thing? It was furnished exactly like his own living room. Same couch. Same lamp. Same coffee table with the little scratch on the corner. It was a perfect replica, down to the tiniest detail. And sitting on the couch was Daniel. He froze. His heart pounded. The man on the couch was identical to him, same clothes, same face, same tired expression. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. The other Daniel slowly turned his head, meeting his eyes. And then he smiled. Not a warm smile. Not a friendly one. But a slow, deliberate grin that stretched wider than it should. Daniel stumbled backward, slamming the door shut. His hands shook as he pressed against it, his mind racing. What had he just seen? A dream? A hallucination? But when he looked back, the door was gone. Just a blank wall where it had been moments ago. The next day, Daniel tried to convince himself it was stress. He'd been working long hours, barely sleeping. The mind plays tricks when you're exhausted, right? But deep down he couldn't shake it. Every time he walked that hallway, his eyes darted to the end. And 2 nights later, the door returned. This time he didn't hesitate. He opened it. Once again the room mirrored his own. Once again the other Daniel was there. But this time, the double was standing. Waiting. Daniel whispered, "Who are you?" The double tilted his head. And in a voice that sounded like Daniel's but distorted, like it was being played through broken speakers, it said, "I'm what you leave behind." From that night on, the door appeared more often. And each time Daniel found the double closer, more alive. Sometimes it would mimic his movements. Sometimes it would speak in riddles. And sometimes it would just watch him with those unblinking eyes. Daniel stopped sleeping. He avoided his neighbors, afraid they'd notice something was wrong. His world shrank to 2 things, his apartment and that impossible door. And then, the double stepped through. Daniel woke one night to the sound of footsteps in his living room. He stumbled out of bed, heart hammering, and there he was, his double standing in the dark, smiling. Daniel shouted, "Get out! This is my home." The double tilted its head, that grin spreading. Then, in perfect mimicry of Daniel's own voice, it whispered, "No, this is our home." It lunged. Daniel fought, but it was like wrestling his own reflection. Every move he made, the double countered. The struggle crashed into furniture, shattered glass, blood on the floor. And then, silence. The next morning, neighbors reported hearing noises during the storm. But when police arrived, the apartment was tidy. No broken glass. No blood. The man living there introduced himself politely. "Daniel Carter," he said with a smile. But the neighbors swore there was something different about him. His smile seemed too wide. His eyes too still. In the hallway? There was no strange door. There never had been. So the question is, did Daniel lose his mind? Or did something step through that door and take his place? And if it did, what happens when your hallway grows a door that shouldn't exist? Subscribe for more stories like this.